is a city of stories, some memorable, some forgettable. I am proud to be here with you today. Zeev and everyone, thank you for the opportunity. I'm also proud that Dear World, 7 years into our journey, is now a tool for CEOs and senior executives to learn about their people. We believe that people getting to tell their stories in their own words is a catalyst for trust. And when a team has trust, it produces better results. We're going to tell some stories here today. I'm excited to be here with you. We give people the tools to tell a remarkable story. I don't just speak at Dear World. We're going to be set up all day in the lounge taking your Dear World photographs. So that's one of the fun parts for me, is that this is not just a speech. We're going to have you take your portraits. Yeah. That's right, Z. But that portrait takes some work. That portrait takes some work. Me and my facilitator, AK, are going to be taking you through a process to get you to your Dear World portrait. You may wonder what that is. Well, a Dear World portrait is really the first line to a story that only you can tell. And what we found is that when these are not mantras like Be the Change, that these are specific lead-ins to specific stories, curiosity comes from your colleagues. They want to know, why did you write, "Baby, the water is running"? And from those stories, we find new friendships and new bonds. I want to share with you a few of my favorites from this year. We do a lot of executive leadership retreats, annual sales meetings. And as these ones roll by, I want you to think, if this was someone on your team or someone sitting next to you, would you want to ask them why they wrote it? Just by show of hands, how many people would want to ask someone why they wrote at least one of those? That's right. Now imagine that's someone you've been working with for 10 or 15 years, and you find out that you're both adopted. I actually had that happen at a senior executive retreat for a financial services firm, and it was an incredible thing to see these two hard-charging men who had worked together for a decade not know that they were both adopted. I think we got to change the culture of work, right? I think we have to understand that we do have skills and pedigrees, but we bring experiences that far too often in the most competitive fields, I find, especially with men, we bottle those. We bottle those for some reason that is frankly unnecessary. And I'm just proud that we're moving in a direction where bringing our stories to our work is valued. I have a special segment here, because one of my heroes, a new friend, Baron Davis, and I have been working very hard together on a story. Baron is a two-time NBA All-Star. He is an entrepreneur. He was born in Los Angeles, but also spent a lot of time in my adopted hometown, New Orleans. And what Barron is going to do for us today, Barron, come on up. Barron is going to get up on stage, and he is going to share his Dear World story. He's going to model a Dear World story for you. And what a gift that is for me to do that. So everyone, welcome to the stage, my new friend, Mr. Barron Davis.
It was the summer of 1995. I was heading into my junior year at Crossroads School in Santa Monica. Now, let me give you a little context on Crossroads. Crossroads was a private school for the privileged, not so privileged, but a school built around arts and science, diversity, and helping you figure out who you want to be as a student. I'm from South Central Los Angeles. We all know what South Central Los Angeles is, the home of the riots. My friends, the home of gang violence, drugs, my homeboys, my family, the home to Fremont High School in my neighborhood. And at that point, I realized that I wanted to be the hero for my hood. I didn't want to go to the school Crossroads. So I decided with my homeboy, Daryl Houston, that I was gonna muster up the courage and tell my grandmother, I'm gonna transfer schools. Because I needed to be a gangster. I needed to be hard as a basketball player so people wouldn't challenge me as I got older and older and older. Come on, Daryl, let's go, dog. Today is the day. Walked to my grandmother's house. Now my grandmother, my kryptonite was her food. So we hit the door, lima beans, rice and gravy, chicken breast. I'm like, damn, dog, we probably can't do this today, No, if we can get this off today, I love lima beans. And, my grandmother, she's just in the kitchen. She fuss, but she don't cuss. And so we're in the living room, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna do this, it's time. Me and you together, we gonna do this, I'm gonna do it for the hood. And my sister, who is a year younger, she's in the other room. I slept in the living room, she slept in her own room. What you about to do? I'm telling grandma. I'm like, you ain't telling nobody nothing. So I was like, all right, dog, forget it. Here I go. Walk in the kitchen. Medea, what, boy? You see I'm cooking, what you want? I'm transferring. I want to go to Fremont. Oh, so you want to be a gangbanger? What you mean by that? No, I don't want to be no gangbanger. Yeah, you do. You want to be a gangbanger. I said, no, I want to be a basketball player. I want to do it for the hood. I want to stay in the hood. I want to do it with my friends. She said, boy, get out my kitchen, because I ain't raised you to be no gangbanger. And from that point, it was like, do I want some food? Do I want these lima beans? Right? Do I want this chicken? And it's starting to melt at my soul. And I said, you know what? No, I don't want to be a gangbanger. I want to be a professional basketball player. She said, well, let me tell you this. You can go to Fremont High School. You got a month to school. You can go to Fremont High School for the next 3 weeks. But when that week started school at Crossroads, don't look at me, boy, because I ain't signing no transfer paperwork. And so to that point, she raised me not to be a gangbanger. And today, I'm standing here in front of you guys, not a gangbanger. And my grandmother raised me, so, just grew up in a bad situation. Parents were in and out and not really around. And, at one point we were going to a foster home, and my grandfather and my grandmother was like, we're taking them in. So my grandmother became my rock. My grandfather passed, and it was just me, my grandmother, my sister, and then whatever woman, mom, auntie. It was like 7 women in the house. But my grandmother was like, she always wanted me to be a gentleman. She always wanted to be clean cut. She hates me having a beard right now. It's like, so she was just always wanting me to, to make it and be successful. And, that's why I owe a lot to her.
And I know you told me yesterday that she had a ton of dishes, but if you had one meal, one opportunity for a Medea meal, what would it be?
Lima beans, greens, roast, cornbread, and fried chicken. I gotta double up on, I gotta have meat and chicken.
All right, so we talked about Medea, right, as truly a leader in your life.
Absolutely.
She made the right call for you
Absolutely.
to go to Crossroads. You are now an entrepreneur, had a great career in the NBA. It got me thinking of like other people in your life who helped you along the way, other leaders. Can you tell me someone else in your life that made an impact on you, and who was that, and
Yeah,
what they do for you?
I would say the next person comes to mind. I was a rookie in the NBA in Charlotte, and my college coach played in Charlotte, and he was mentored by this man, Marshall Rouse, older Jewish guy. And when I got to Charlotte, my coach made the connection. And so I sat down, I was like, man, what am I gonna do sitting down with oh man, man, I'm 19 years old, what we about to talk about? And so we sat down and we started talking about basketball. He played at Duke, which I hated, and so we hit it off perfectly. And he sat down and we would meet, and he was like, look, you can come to my family house every Sunday and be a part of our family. And he was like, but we have to meet every Friday so I can, give you a lesson and, if you would like. And I was like, of course. So every Friday we would sit down and we would go over finances and things like that. And then he said, I want you to do one thing. Every time you get your check, take the check from the team and go deposit it in the bank yourself. And after about 3 months, the lady at the teller, she's gonna say, what do you do for a living? And then try to introduce you to the guy, the president of the bank. And so I would do that every week, take a check. And the lady at the bank was like, boy, do you know, you deposited these checks, do you know what you're doing? I was like, no, but I see my money growing, and so met with the president of the bank, and then from that, the lesson grew, and I finally was like, I call him Grandpa Rouse, how did you, what kind of business are you in? What kind of business are you in? And he told me he was in the Christmas business, Christmas ornaments, the Yuletide stickers. I was like, man, get out of here,
The Jewish
dude.
guys in the Christmas
Yeah, I was like, come on, man, are you kidding me? And that ultimately inspired me to create a line of business of diverse, characters and products for Black Santa, and the wrapping paper ornament, and in that space as a homage to him and my lessons in business.
Can you tell me the moment? Wow, that's amazing. What was the mentor's name again?
Marshall Rouse.
Marshall Rouse. What a man. And he inspired you for a company you have, Black Santa. Mm-hmm. Can you take us to the moment when you probably had a lot of ideas in your head? When did Black Santa come to you? Do you remember where you were and that was the right call?
Yeah, it was actually like a joke. I didn't have a Halloween costume, and the only costume in my closet was a Santa Claus outfit. And I didn't want to go out. I had been hurt with my knee, and so I was on pain medication, so I had to take them every 4 hours. And I was like, dude, I don't want to go out. My friends was like, you got to go out. And so I put on the Santa outfit, went to the party, and I was the life of the party. I was right behind a fortune teller, right next to a photo booth, and then it was me, because I couldn't move on my knee, on my pain, waiting for the next pain meds, rubbing my knee, and people were coming thinking I was Santa Claus. And so I bet my friend, I was like, dude, we need to trademark this. Black Santa is a thing, it's a thing. And he was like, it's not. And I was like, I bet you $100. And so he called me back. He was like, dude, I'll owe you $200 because I can't believe you're right. And I was like, dude, I was doing all this research last night, which I really wasn't. And so, that led to what is this company? What is this company? Who is Black Santa? And we trademarked it, and then it wasn't until we actually start thinking about him as a character and the company, and how is he going to resonate with everybody, And then I remember driving one day, and I was like, hold on, how does he live throughout the season? And I said, he unlocks characters and holidays. He celebrates, heritage. He celebrates diversity and inclusion, and the love for himself, and the love for his color, the love for his people. And so start thinking about, if we start reflecting positivity, right, on our own, then people are gonna see us differently, right? Especially as kids. And now if we celebrate the positivity in where you're from, right, in your story, then that's how we're all kind of gonna connect and resonate. And I remember I was driving and I was like, this is not like toys and like rap, because everybody's like, man, you're gonna be rich, you're gonna be rich. I was like, yeah, whatever, like, but that's not the point. I was like, you know what, I just opened up a treasure chest of African-American wealth, you know. I just opened up a treasure chest of diversity, of storytelling, of, you know, figuring out how to connect to these kids now and using, you know, old stories and kind of like, you know, old platforms to re-engage that same audience, but make it appealing to, you know, this modern culture. And so Black Santa became, you know, and he becomes the figure of good, you know, the figure of blessing someone, just like a normal Santa Claus, but, you know, he put some flavor to it, you know, and some give back and some double bottom line and touching the right kids and expanding that culture.
That's amazing, man. And you probably put that $200 your friend owed you right into the company.
Of course.
That's right. That's right.
That's his stock.
So this is a point of personal privilege. We got about 4 more minutes. You are of the top 0.0001% of humans, right, who can make it in professional sports.
Yeah.
Team sports. And I think a lot of this idea of honesty and chemistry on teams is hard in business.
Yeah.
It's got to be hard in the NBA as well. Can you give us an example, maybe of a team where you were just clicking and it felt right? And what led up to a team that felt like you were in flow, or y'all trusted each other? Can you think of a time that, and can you just describe that for us?
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, I've played for all the worst owners in NBA.
Okay, we can talk about a not great
tour
time.
races, but I mean, look, you know, but as far as like, it's dead serious, the worst. So team-wise, it all starts at the top. I was gonna
end on this great chemistry story.
It's like screwed from the bottom down.
Okay,
but,
dysfunctional team.
Yeah,
you know.
But speaking of dysfunction, so when I was with the Warriors, right, and we had, you know, it was just like I walked into like almost like a zombie land. Nobody cared about winning. Nobody even cared about playing. And, you know, the general manager was like, yo, we're gonna get some guys in here. I was like, dude, just get anybody in here that like has some life, you know?
Can you describe like what is that? You go to practice?
Yeah, so I got traded from New Orleans. So I got traded from New Orleans to Golden State.
So set the scene for us.
Yeah, so I get traded from New Orleans to Golden State. I didn't want to go to Golden State because they sucked, right? And I didn't really like Oakland at the time. I thought it was like a real LA-Oakland rivalry, so I was like sticking to it. And so when I got to Oakland, it was like they hadn't won, you know, and they were young, and they had like 4 coaches in 4 years, and they were just beaten up, you know, and they didn't know how to win, they didn't know how to have fun playing basketball. And when I got there, you know, it was kind of like we won like 8 games in a row, but it was fool's gold. So we came back the next year and we sucked. And so the next year we came, and Don Nelson was the coach, and then we started off with the same guys because he felt like he could inspire. And basically the team we were just dragging. And the general manager was like, yo, I was like, dude, just give me some guys in here that I can fit personality-wise. At the same time, in Indiana, you know, their team was going through disarray. You know, they were having shootouts at the club. You know, Steven Jackson got hit by a car. He got arrested. And so Chris Mullin was like, yeah, we're going to trade for those dudes. Steven Jackson, Al Harrington. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Like, bring them in. You know, and so I think with that team, you know, everybody kind of counted us out. And I think the same, you know, with a company is like, you never know who's going to inspire you. You never know whose story is going to resonate. And I remember the coach went in the media and he was like, look, we'll wait till next year. We got the team we want. We'll see what happens. And I adjusted the team and I was like, look, dude, you know, I know y'all come from Indiana and y'all party. And like, we haven't went out as a team and partied at all since I've been here. So, you know, let's make the game our party. And even though everybody gave up on us, at least like if we win the games, then like we'll all go out as a team and party. So we won 22 out of 25 games, and we went out like 20 times. But it was just like we played without any care in the world, and we played with the love and under duress, and it was almost like, you know, it was finally for me as a leader to like spread some of the responsibility on people who were in trouble in other places. But it's just like, you gotta believe, you never know who's gonna inspire you. You never know who's gonna come and be the what we call the glue guy, the person who's gonna be the nuts and bolts in your company. So, you know, that was a great experience, and we wind up like beating Dallas in the playoffs, and you know, then the owner broke the team up. So, yeah.
Baron Davis, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
I gotta wire this because I got 200 people who are like, man, should I do this Dear World thing or not? What'd you think of the process? I'm gonna wire this. I hope you say good things. What'd you think of the process of telling your story up here today?
For me, you know, one, thank you all for having me. Thanks, Steve, Social Innovation. I mean, it's great. You get to tap into, you know, who you are as a person. You get to tap into your history and, you know, be able to share something with the world that's also a part of your understanding, them understanding you and you understanding yourself better. So, you know, I enjoyed it. I still have it on my skin.
It comes off, by the way.
Yeah, it's just a marker. But I still have it because I want to walk around today and I want to feel like this because I feel like, you know, this was inspirational for everything.
I know I've known you like a day. You're a friend,
moving
brother.
to LA.
I appreciate you. I'm moving to LA.
All right, gotcha.
I'm calling you. Everyone, thank you for giving us the time. We'll start photographing at 11 o'clock.